Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Steve. Thank you for stopping by my channel. I'm just an American guy on a journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Today, I thought we would react to one woman, 17 British accents. This is something I've really been wanting to check out for a while, the accents. I do enjoy the British accent, but I've lately found out there are many accents. I already knew there were quite a few, but you guys make it sound like in the comments that you can literally drive 5 miles down the street and you'll come across a completely different accent. That's pretty wild. In America, we got a decent amount of accents, but generally speaking, it's not, you don't come across that many accents as you drive in a local area, for example. I've kind of got not a full-on deep southern accent like the deep south, like Louisiana, Alabama. But I have a southern accent. It's kind of like, mid-east coast southern accent. Yeah, this should be interesting. Looking forward to checking this out.
The UK is incredibly diverse in terms of accents, and it just so happens that I can do many of these accents as my party trick. So come with me as I take you on a guided tour through all of the accents and archetypes of Great Britain. Hi, I'm Siobhan Thompson, and this is Anglophenia, and what I'm speaking right now is RP, received pronunciation, or your standard BBC English. It's spoken across the country, generally by upper middle and upper class people. Think of Martin Freeman, Benedict Cumberbatch, or most of the presenters of BBC News. So, good evening, it's 9 o'clock and this is the news, I'm very important. Heightened RP is generally only spoken on film and television now. So you're going to think of Nell Card or the Dowager Countess in Downton Abbey. Oh, Gerald, I do love you, but you're so terribly, terribly poor.
Oh, okay, I think I get with this kind of like, oh, Gerald. I'm butchering that, I know. I'm just, it's like pulling or like the last syllable continues. That's kind of what I get from that one.
Now, London is the accent that most people outside of Britain can recognise. That classic lock, stock and two smoking barrels. Get out of my pub! Go on, get out of it! Shut it, you tart!
She's good. Yeah, that accent, it makes me think, when I hear that on a guy, it's more like, it reminds me of the tough guy in a movie. If I see a tough guy in a movie that's taking place in the UK, a British movie, for example, or the guy is British in the movie, that generally the gangster or the mob boss will be speaking that accent. I wonder why that is. Is it just because it's like the London accent, so it's the bigger, the big city? That's interesting.
East Anglia is a flat, boggy kind of place with a flat, boggy kind of accent. I'd love to give you an example of somebody that comes from there that speaks like this, but they all lose this accent as soon as they can. Stephen Fry's from Norfolk, but he doesn't speak like this because he's posh. Here's a kind of classic kind of East Anglia phrase. I done dropped my computer in the fan and it's broken. Now let's go across the...
Broken. So is that accent kind of like shortening the words kind of when it's spoken? I've never actually heard that accent that I know of. I don't think I have. The London one, very popular. The other two seem to be fairly popular. That one's new to me.
Island to the West Country, which is a much rounder sound. It's farmland full of sheep and cows and apples.
That's almost got the kind of more of what I recognize as kind of an Irish, the rounding. Yeah, like she said. I'm not saying that is an Irish accent, but it reminds me more of that. And of course, she just said to the west, which means you're getting close to Ireland. So maybe there is something to that.
Think of Sam Gamgee from The Lord of the Rings or Hagrid from the Harry Potter movies. Oh, you bloody kids, get off my land! Or, oh, Mr. Frodo, don't let him turn me into anything unnatural. And then when you go down to Cornwall, it gets a little bit more piratey. So, hoist the mizzenmast, Squire Trelawney. Now, Southern Welsh is this great sing-songy kind of an accent. Think of Tom Jones or Richard Burton. You know, rage against the dying of the light. Bloody hell, I love Dylan Thomas.
That reminds me almost of like what I know as kind of not completely Scottish, but has that Scottish. Is it true? Is the Scottish accent generally? Most Scottish accents they generally got the rolling of the tongue. I recognize that for some reason. I know they're talking about Wells right now. I'm just saying that reminded me of that for some reason.
Northern Welsh is where the singer Duffy is from. It's a breathier, thicker kind of an accent, and most people from there speak Welsh at home and English is a second language. So, diolch yn fawr.
Really? I did not know that. So, is it all in Northern Wales? Is English the second language, or is it just this small area? Wow. I assumed that the entirety of the British Isles, that the English was I'm not saying the only language anyone spoke, but generally speaking, the language that generally everyone spoke pretty much always. Wow. I did not know that. I'd like to learn about that. Are there other languages that are still popular in the British Isles other than English? Let me know in the comments section. I might check that out.
Now, across the country to the West Midlands and Birmingham, it's a very nasal kind of an accent, mostly on account of all the industry that went on in that area.
I recognize that one.
And So You Think You Can Dance is from there, and so is Ozzy Osbourne, Sharon, where's the bloody remote?
Might be why I know that.
That he does isn't because of drugs, it's just where he's from. Scouse is your classic Liverpool accent. The Beatles are from there, and so's Paul McGann. They were also made European Capital of Culture a couple of years ago by the EU, so don't tell me they're not cultured, all right? Up into Lancashire, and think of Christopher Eccleston or most of the cast of the Downstairs in Downton Abbey. Daisy, get those buns out the oven before they burn.
Okay, yeah, that one's pretty popular as at least an accent that I know I've heard quite a bit. Somehow. I don't know. Is it just in movies or something? I don't know. Must be. I don't know.
Oh, Mr. Fitz. So, across the Pennines to Yorkshire, it's a much kind of flatter accent from Lancashire, and they cut off a lot of the words. So, I'm going to Pub Up Hill. Think of Sean Bean from Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. One does not simply walk into Mordor. So in Northumberland and Newcastle, he's speaking a Geordie accent. So, think of the Geordie Shore or Carol Cole. Remember, she got fired from the X Factor because nobody could understand a word she was saying. Or Billy Elliot. All I want to do is dance bally, but me dad makes me box. Edinburgh's the capital of Scotland. It's a very soft, maybe a little snooty kind of an accent. Think of Ewan McGregor or Dame Maggie Smith as Professor McGonagall. That's 10 points taken from Gryffindor, Mr. Porter.
Okay, now I'm thinking maybe I was mistaken on that. I thought the Scottish accent was had the rolling of the tongue, because that sounds like the traditional Scottish accent that I know of, that I think of when I think of someone from Scotland. But there's really not that rolling of the tongue. I don't know. I did hear I can't explain what it was that I heard, but it was like not really a full rolling of tongue, but it was like, I don't know. That's so interesting. It's so interesting how there are so many different accents. Never knew. Wow.
Glasgow is a much thicker kind of an accent. Billy Connolly and Peter Capaldi are both from there. They cut off a lot of the words, so I haven't any butter, so I've got to go to the shop,
Okay, no, I recognize that one too. So I have no idea where I was thinking the rolling of the tongue was coming from, because both of those accents are accents that I recognize from Scotland, but the rolling of the tongue really wasn't there. I don't know. Why was I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. Is it Irish that I'm thinking of? I don't know. It could be something completely different from any of these accents that I'm thinking of, but for some reason I had that thought in my head.
And so up to the very north to the Highlands of Scotland. Think of Amy Pond from Doctor Who, or maybe Sir Robert Burns. The best laid plans of mice and men, gang after glee. Now let's go to Northern Ireland, and it's all about the vowels with the Northern Irish accent, like how now, brown cow. Liam Neeson is from there.
How now, brown cow. How now, brown cow. How now, brown cow. Yeah, okay. That's definitely one of the Irish accents I definitely recognize.
I've got a very particular set of skills. I know he doesn't say it in that accent in the movie, but it sounds well cool, so, like... And finally, Southern Ireland is obviously not a part of the United Kingdom, but I can do a Dublin accent, so let's just do it. It's a pretty classic Irish accent with a lot of assonance to it. So Sinead O'Connor's from there.
Okay.
Nothing compares to you. That is all from me. Tell me if there's any British accents that I missed, because I love a challenge. Don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.
That was awesome. That was absolutely awesome. I loved that. And she was awesome. She did a good job, and she was really funny. She did a good job at this. Wow. That is so amazing. You know, looking at it now, it's like, why did I never really think about how many different accents there were in the UK? And Ireland. I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of others in Ireland as well. She didn't really go over but 2. I'm thinking there's probably others, obviously, different dialects. Wow. It's amazing how many of those different accents I actually recognize somehow. I guess musicians, movies, things like that. You know, you just pick these sounds up over time. You recognize them somehow, and I have no idea how. But this is so interesting. Oh, I love it. I love it. It makes me want to look at other accent videos because I know there's more. And I want to check them all out. So anyways, guys, I actually do. I have seen another video recently. I haven't watched it, but I've seen the thumbnail for it for, I think, 20 or 23 British accents. I might check that one out. Some guy, so it'd be different to hear it from a male's perspective anyway, so that'd be good. So I think I'll check that out. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reaction. Please click that like button, share your thoughts in the comment section, and please don't forget to subscribe to continue to join me on my journey to discover my British and Irish ancestry. Until next time, guys, peace.